A former Southern Kentucky medical assistant is in jail accused of falsely writing out prescriptions. Police are investigating car break-ins at Louisville Zoo parking lots. We'll show you the suspect they caught on camera. Attention shifts back to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton after last night's VP debate. The latest from the campaign trail ahead at 4:30.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Amber Philpott reporting. Police in Southern Kentucky say a woman falsified prescriptions for herself and possibly others.
The woman worked for a medical clinic in Russell Springs when the allegations took place. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to the hospital the woman worked for and has more now from Russell County. It's our top story at 4:30.
The Russell County Sheriff tells me that he thinks this is going to be just the beginning of a pretty good-sized case for them. He tells me that a woman who was in a position of trust working for a medical clinic used that position to get a lot of prescriptions that were only for herself and possibly a few others. The allegations go back 2 years. Police say 31-year-old Lindsay Sloan of Adair County called in more than 120 prescriptions to pharmacies while knowing they were not for patients. In fact, police say she was getting them for herself and maybe others. The allegations occurred while Sloan worked for the Russell County Hospital.
They were prescriptions that were called in, I believe, for her and other people, but they were refills and I believe they were prescriptions.
The sheriff tells me the Russell County Hospital and the family medical practitioners were in no way involved in these allegations. However, the sheriff also says there could very well be more people arrested and more charges the result of the ongoing investigation. We're going to have more coming up at 5:30, but for now in Russell County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And police say the Drug Enforcement Administration is also investigating.
Well, switching gears now to the weather as Hurricane Matthew dominates the national weather conversation. The question is, how will it affect Kentucky?
Good question. Right now, just beautiful weather in the bluegrass. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Got to love today as far as the weather here in Kentucky.
Yeah, without question, guys. And to answer the question, there's not likely to be no direct impact from that hurricane for our weather in Kentucky. We are dealing with some really good stuff. You almost feel guilty for having such great weather when you know what folks in Florida are getting ready to go through. Upper 70s, low 80s out there. A little bit of high cloud cover coming in on the western horizon ahead of a couple of fronts. We've got one that is dying out before it ever reaches the bluegrass. That second front, though, is unleashing wintertime in the Rockies. We got a lot of snow breaking out across the Rockies into southern parts of Canada. That will eventually scoot in here for the weekend. How do we look for the day tomorrow, though? How about temperatures 50s to start, into the upper 70s, low 80s to end. Almost a carbon copy of today. The latest on Matthew, it is just about ready to strengthen again as it gets fully back into the Atlantic. It's still having some problems coming off of Cuba. It's only weakened it, though, to a Category 3, 120 miles per hour. Still a major hurricane that is heading toward the Bahamas, then has a date with Florida over the next few days, and we'll have the latest track on that and show you some cool animations of the hurricane to let you know what impact that will have indirectly on our weather when I come back in just a matter of minutes.
Chris, thank you. Lexington police are looking for the man who robbed a hotel with a butcher knife. It happened just after 11 at the Ramada Inn on North Broadway. Police say the man had some sort of mask over his face when he jumped the counter and stole cash. A suspected thief is caught on surveillance cameras using credit cards stolen from the Louisville Zoo.
Police say that many cars were broken into Saturday night during the zoo's Halloween event. Christina Mora has the story.
Celeste Berry was at the Louisville Zoo Halloween party Saturday night. Her car was broken into, along with a few others, and authorities say the thief didn't waste any time, spending hundreds of dollars.
I'm sure this happens all the time, and I'm not saying that we're the only victims of this that ever occur, but, you know, it just feels like nobody ever really gets caught or it's never pursued.
Celeste Berry and her family got to the Louisville Zoo Saturday around 5:15. Less than 2 hours later, they were back at their car, ready to leave.
And we noticed that our car had been broken into. The front console was kind of rummaged through. My purse, which was under the front passenger seat, was missing.
Berry's purse, wallet, checkbook, along with her credit cards and ID, were all gone. She says a few other people parked nearby were also robbed.
We contacted the credit card company and noticed that there was a fraudulent charge from a Walmart that we had not been to for over $800 that evening. So before we even got back to our vehicle, that purchase had been made.
Detectives say this woman bought two $400 Visa gift cards at Walmart using Barry's credit card. Barry says the surveillance footage shows the woman signing her name. Fortunately, the credit card company stopped the next purchase the woman tried to make at a different Walmart.
People will say, well, don't ever leave your purse in the vehicle. Of course, number one, don't do that anymore. You know, it wasn't something that was visible by looking in the window, so that's frustrating. You know, it had been hidden. I felt that it was hidden under the seat. You know, it's just obviously a violation of your privacy.
If you recognize the woman you saw in those surveillance photos, you're asked to call police. At the Louisville Zoo, Christina Mora.
And that was Christina Mora reporting. The running mates have had their day in the spotlight following the one and only vice presidential debate that was last night.
And now the attention shifts back to the top of the ticket. Mark Albert is at the White House with more details.
Mike Pence rallied with voters in Virginia Wednesday afternoon. He's being praised for his performance in the vice presidential debate the night before, but he's deflecting that praise onto his boss.
Some people think I won. What I can tell you is from where I sat, Donald Trump won the debate.
Trump is on a campaign swing through Nevada. He visited a private school in Las Vegas.
Does everybody love school?
Before holding a rally in nearby Henderson.
In 34 days, we're going to win this state, and we're going to win back the White House.
Hillary Clinton is at her Washington, D.C. home today, raising money and preparing for her next debate. Trump and Clinton will square off this Sunday in St. Louis. It'll be a town hall style format featuring questions from voters.
I think it's a natural format for her, and she likes really engaging with people, so we're looking forward to it.
It's the fastest 90 minutes the show does.
Clinton also called her running mate, Tim Kaine, to praise him for his performance in Tuesday night's vice presidential debate. Mark Albert for CBS News, the White House.
Tim Kaine will be back on the campaign trail tonight with a rally in Philadelphia. Fans of the popular show Gilmore Girls are being treated to some free coffee today here in Lexington. Today is the 16th birthday of the TV show, and to promote its upcoming revival of the show, Netflix sponsored Luke's Diner pop-ups all around the country. 2 Lexington coffee shops are taking part, Coffee Times and Southland Perk. The 2 cafes gave out hundreds of cups of free coffee this morning. Some fans were lined up before 6. The revival of Gilmore Girls premieres November 25th on Netflix.
Still to come, he kept it a secret for 2 years, but now a funny man is opening up about a serious health scare.
Your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Beautiful skies across the area again today. A little cloud cover just to give our skyline some flavoring. And the colors starting to show up of fall. Well, it's October. We should start to sprinkle in some of the golds, a little yellow, some, maybe maroon, some reds. Yeah, you're going to see that over the next little bit. WKYT Weather Garden showing off a little bit. Upper 70s, low 80s out there this afternoon. If you're heading out and about this evening, it's a nice one again. Sun keeps setting earlier and earlier. Low 70s at sunset. We're still hanging on to 70 by 9. Mid 60s coming your way as we roll our way toward 11 this evening. Still dealing with some high clouds out there, not producing precipitation, though we did have a little gusty shower or thunderstorm into parts of western Kentucky earlier in the day. Cold front number 1, not really worried about this one. It's the one coming in behind that will actually make its way into Kentucky. That doesn't happen until we get into Friday night and Saturday. So that gusty wind from the southwest going to continue over the next few days. Hour by hour forecast. Let's zip through it because the first 48 hours of this, nothing really to show you. Tomorrow, it's just like today, upper 70s, low 80s, partly sunny skies. Say hello to Friday and say hello to the opening day for the fall meet out at Keeneland. And right now the weather looks absolutely gorgeous. Partly sunny skies. Winds are going to pick up a little bit. Temperatures should be into the mid and upper 70s. Now we start to see some changes blowing in here on Saturday. Here is a cold front. This front, though, does not have a whole lot of moisture with it. So an isolated shower or thunderstorm may be as good as we can get on Saturday. Saturday will feature temperatures that are noticeably cooler in the 60s, and then we drop it quickly as the sun sets. We're going to be into the mid 50s by around 7 or 8 o'clock on Saturday evening with a gusty wind. Did someone say gusty wind? Let's track those winds that will be blowing at us from the south as we go into Friday, from the southwest by late Friday afternoon. Then look what happens on Saturday morning. Here we go with that front right on top of the area. We may see some gusts closing in on 30 miles per hour. Saturday, one of those hold on to your hats kind of days out there. And then by the end of the day, those winds are coming at us from the north now, still 15 to 20 miles per hour. So if you're heading out to Commonwealth Stadium on Saturday afternoon for Vandy in town, 4 o'clock kickoff, likely to be a dry game with some gusty winds and chilly temperatures. You get into the second half, and yeah, you need the sweatshirts and the jackets. Looking at Hurricane Matthew right now, still a Category 3. That's a major hurricane. We should be getting an update in terms of the official track on this coming up here momentarily. Hurricane warnings are out along the east coast of Florida. I believe this is updated now, and the new track does indeed make landfall on the east coast of Florida. Those hurricane warnings likely to be extended farther to the north as we go into the next several hours. Those tropical storm warnings, by the way, go well inland. Then look what happens. Instead of going up the east coast, this thing gets kind of left behind. The front misses it, so it may try to curve back toward the south. And a couple models say it tries to go back toward Florida again. We'll see about that one. We've got to get through this first round, and that's going to be a doozy as we go into tomorrow and Friday. Around here, guys, no direct impact from that. And because that storm is not going to go all the way up into parts of New England, temperatures will not be quite as chilly. We're talking 40 as opposed to upper 30s now. It's still chilly enough with low and mid 60s Saturday and Sunday.
It looked, from what I saw on the map there, that it could hit Orlando or maybe Jacksonville, Daytona Beach, actually off the coast.
It's going to be, in some cases, just inland potentially for a few hours. And coming up at 5, I've got a computer model. We're going to take you in under the clouds, and we're going to show you as this storm is coming at you. You're going to see that eye of the hurricane literally hugging the coast all the way up to Jacksonville.
Wow.
So we're going to give you a virtual view of what it's like to see that storm coming ashore at 5 o'clock.
All right, sir. Thank you.
It's the very first ever Kentucky Fashion Week, making Kentucky fashion forward. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about with a preview today.
Next week, the first ever Fashion Week will be kicking off here in Lexington.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about at the 21C with a preview. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon from 21C, where 1 week from today, it is Fashion Forward, all about Kentucky Fashion Week. We want you to be a part of it because there's so many people involved in this that you want to see. And Ben's like, Deanne, I'm doing hair and makeup today. You could have used my services. I'm not part of the fashion show, but we got Fashion Forward going on with Kentucky Fashion Week. Tell us about it and what you're doing with it.
So I'm from Paul Mitchell, and we are actually going to be bringing in our future professionals. So the models are coming into the school. Part of this is to really elevate the hair and fashion industry as well in Lexington. So collaborating with Lexington Fashion Collaborative has helped us be a part of it.
Well, hair and makeup help with fashion, don't you think? I'm pretty sure it's key.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's a completion to the whole entire look.
Yeah, definitely. So Ben's going to be here, part of Kentucky Fashion Week. Ed has spearheaded this whole project, and it's a very cool project. I'm so excited Kentucky is doing this. We haven't always been known to be fashion forward here in Kentucky.
We haven't, but you know, the Lexington Fashion Collaborative started back in '09 with amazing founders like Sarita Benedict Begley, a local designer. That and her team led the groundwork for where we are today.
There are so many local designers here, like Chandra, who is with us. And you yourself, you have designed some magnificent pieces. Talk about Kentucky Fashion Week being here in your very own state and how you get to show off your design.
Well, first of all, I'm honored to be a part of this very first Fashion Week. My design's called Dauphine of France Couture. I designed in Louisville, Kentucky, actually. And here is our top model, Natira Brown.
And she is wearing it well, honey, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
So tell me your inspiration for this.
Well, actually, Morticia Addams, Wednesday Addams, Penny Dreadful, American Horror Story. And so, you know, Halloween is my month. So
this will fit in perfectly, won't it?
Very gothic.
Albert is coming in right behind her, and Albert is a designer himself and has designed what he has on here. Tell us about it, Albert.
Well, I'll say this, I'm just very glad to be here representing all the guys out there. First off, this is mostly my brand is high-end brand, Ambassador Co. We want to make it affordable, bring the high-end classy guys back in the city again. You know, that's what our brand is about. So.
I love that you said affordable, because so many people think fashion they can't afford. They can't keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. This young lady is perfect to speak on that, because she's like recycled everything for her outfit, Samantha.
It didn't cost me a dime. Literally just taking the pieces that I find. I learned from working with my mother as a young child, picking up the pieces of scraps on the floor and making little dresses for my dolls, and now I'm doing it for real.
And you're also going to see farm to fashion as part of Kentucky Fashion Week. You have to be so cozy and warm.
Oh, it is so warm and cozy and soft.
And beautiful. It's magnificent. All these magnificent pieces, fabulous designers. They are all a part of Kentucky Fashion Week. Things are kicking off on Monday at Fifth Third Pavilion. How can folks be a part of it? You want them to be a part of the fashion show here at 21C, which is 1 week from today.
Yes, just go online to our site, Facebook, click on the link to Eventbrite, get your tickets. They are limited, and be here.
All right, be here. Be a part of the very first ever Kentucky Fashion Week. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Very creative.
You
for
saw something
sure.
you liked there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Well, the new Prince Museum is set to open, and Ben Stiller reveals a health crisis.
Suzanne Marquez has your eye on entertainment.
Ben Stiller revealed he successfully fought prostate cancer. The Zoolander actor and director told Howard Stern he was diagnosed in 2014 and credits early detection with saving his life.
One of the main things I felt was I was really lucky as I learned more about prostate cancer. I learned that, I was someone who had, a case that could be treated. There are a lot of people who can't.
Because it's too late.
Because they discover it too late.
Stiller had surgery and says he's been cancer-free for 2 years. The new Prince Museum will open tomorrow as scheduled after a zoning conflict had threatened to postpone it. The City Council of Chanhassen, Minnesota, issued a temporary permit to the late singer's estate, which will allow it to operate for 3 days this month. And stars of the new film, The Girl on the Train, hit the red carpet in New York last night. The psychological thriller is based on the best-selling book.
Because I'm afraid of myself.
Emily Blunt plays a troubled woman who gets mixed up in a missing persons investigation. The film also stars Justin Theroux. The Girl on the Train arrives in theaters nationwide Friday. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead, you probably heard the saying about a bull in a china shop, but a bull moose on the loose in a neighborhood, that's quite a sight. That story coming up.
Had to be out today shooting a story. Sometimes it's hard work to be out and about, but it was on the golf course.
Oh, I'm feeling so sorry for you.
Beautiful day. I was so jealous of the folks that were out there. But
so you didn't even knock the ball in once?
I didn't get to do anything. I just stood and watched.
Yeah, just had fun.
Enjoyed the weather.
All right. Chris, what were you doing? Were you at the golf course too?
I was not practicing my short game. That much I can tell you.
Pretty short?
I don't know if someone was over there. Maybe a little chip or two, huh? How's your putter today? Dealing with a mix of sun and clouds across the entire area right now, and beautiful weather rolling on across central and eastern Kentucky. That's our sky cam from Jackson. How about we check on the Mountain Parkway corridor? Beautiful conditions there as well. A lot of upper 70s, low 80s. If you're out and about this evening, we're going to drop it quickly through the 70s into the 60s by the latter part of the evening. And I've got big changes coming up for the weekend. We'll track those with a brand new hour-by-hour forecast and an updated forecast on Hurricane Matthew. That's coming up here in just a little bit. Right now, let's see how the roads are looking. Here's Officer Don with live drive traffic.
Working one collision in Claysville and Pasadena. That turned out to be an entry crash, but take a lot of. Things are looking better through there. Still slow inbound Claysville approaching. As far as drive times go, to Versailles, 11 minutes, to Paris 20, and Richmond 24 minutes to the I-75. Now back to the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. A pug saves the day, a kangaroo in a driveway, and a moose on the loose. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
It has been said that a dog is a man's best friend, but a dog in Idaho proved to be much more than that when he saved his family's home from going up in flames. An 11-year-old pug named Jackson was the first in his home to notice sparks coming from an electric outlet. Did he have a fire hat on? Jackson's owners say that his bark told them something was wrong, and that's when they found the fire. They were able to put the fire out quickly, but say it could have been so much worse if not for their brave pooch.
Jackson is definitely a super pug.
Yeah, he deserves the hometown hero. He saved our house, he saved our lives, and he saved our memories.
What else can you do? That's fantastic. Once the community found out about the heroic pug, Jackson was awarded the Hometown Hero Award. Firefighters say praise for the dog is well deserved.
Good for Jackson. All right, here's something you don't see every day, a kangaroo hopping around in your driveway. That's what a woman in Indiana found when she went outside to find out why her dog was barking. The woman called police, and they were as excited as anyone to see the kangaroo. The deputy sheriff says he held out his hand, and the kangaroo hugged his arm and chewed his gloves. The animal made it safely back to its home, a home, by the way, that is just down the street. In Indiana, it is legal to own an exotic animal like a kangaroo. Who knew?
Yeah, all right, that's different. And in North Dakota, police went on a wild moose chase. A moose walked into a mall parking lot. Police say they could not tranquilize it, so they tried to take it down. Well, that didn't work either, and he got away. There he goes, pretty fast too. Animal control says that the moose is still on the loose this morning.
How about that?
How do you stop him? He's huge.
I feel like there was a joke in there somewhere.
Antlers.
There's a moose on the loose.
We'll have to look for that joke.
Yeah. Stay with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.